Hey, what's up everyone? It's your boy Darkpool Algo, and thanks for joining me on another weekend watch list building session. Today is Sunday, March 13th, 2022, and the last couple of weeks have been bananas. Super crazy. I apologize for the watch list. Had a couple personal things going on that I had to get taken care of. Things seem to be all set now, and we'll be back on our normally scheduled program. Now, just thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for being patient. If you're new to the channel and this is your first time seeing a video, thanks. I really appreciate y'all being here. You can go ahead and take a second and click that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, that little bell icon. That way you get notified anytime we put out a new video. We will be posting a lot more videos in the upcoming future. The goal is for the rest of the year is to do at least 2 during the week, and of course the weekly recap and the weekend watch list. If you haven't signed up for the weekend watch list yet, head over to darkpoolcharts.com, sign up for the free newsletter. It gets sent out every week. We usually go over 4 or 5 top stocks, as well as we look at how the major indexes are doing. We review SPY, we review QQQ, and we review IWM to kind of see what kind of movement we have going on there. Okay, we're going to jump right into it right after this quick intro, and we'll just be back in a second. See you in a second. I said second a lot there, didn't I? Yeah, well, we'll see you in a minute. Bye. Welcome back. All right, I'm a little rusty at this. I'm kind of knocking the dust off right now, but real quick, I do truly want to say thank you and I appreciate everybody who has been supporting me. All of the comments in the comment section have been great. I try to respond to them as soon as I can. And if you're new to the stock market and if you're looking at how to trade support and resistance, pullbacks, technical analysis, we'll go over all of that, as well as we use FLOWTRADE for our predictive indicator. Kind of shows us what's going to happen in the market before it does. We've been extremely successful with that over the last couple of weeks, months, even with this craziness that's been going on in the stock market. We've been super successful because we are actually seeing what smart money, the big boys, are doing, and we follow suit, right? Okay, so let's just jump into it. Top 4 stocks this week are Roblox, FUTU, MRTX, and ASAN. So we got one from communication services, financials, healthcare, and an IT one. If we have time, I've got a bonus one from consumer discretionary that looks pretty decent, right? Okay, but we'll see if we have time. Okay, let's hop right into it with our first stock, Roblox. All right, Roblox is our first stock of the week, and what I want to share with you real quick is this is our FLOWTRADE. This is a smart money dark pool block trade algorithm software that's called the Flow Index. It tracks what large institutions, hedge funds, smart money are doing in comparison to price action, right? The way that works is if you're trying to make millions and billions of dollars orders, if you're trying to drop those orders in, what would happen is if you just placed an order on the market, it would immediately eat up all of the liquidity in the DOM, raising the price, or lowering the price, depending on what you're trying to do. And buyers will start rushing in, right? And if you're trying to buy into something, right, and you eat up all the liquidity, what's going to happen is it's going to jack the price up. And by the end of it, right, after kind of like a little rubber band or a droplet in water where it drops down and then plops back up and then goes back down, right? What will happen is all of the liquidity will be gone, and as the dust settles, you're actually in a you actually end up in a worse position than when you entered. So smart money has to scale into positions, and they like to do it as prices coming down, right? Because they know that once the bottom hits and they get averaged out, their average cost per share is going to be lower, right, than what the price is if they're buying into a position, right? Their average cost per share is going to be lower than the average, right? So they're going to actually be profitable in this way after all of their orders have been filled. So what you'll see a lot of times, you'll see this flow index, right, increasing as price is coming down. And we look for those points of divergence, right, because we know that price is going to come back up to meet with that point of divergence. Price is going to return to that point of divergence, and it's going to follow the flow index, right? So, for example, we're looking at Roblox here. The purple line is a normal algorithm, the normal flow index. Green bars are price action, right? Red lines are regular block trades. I don't have to. When you see a blue line across the screen, that's a regular or dark pool block trade, and white lines are usually a good time. But what they mean in trading is that there's a regular and a dark pool that are printed on top of each other, or really, really close, so you can't separate them out. Those are major inflection points. I would always recommend drawing a line across your screen at that white line level and seeing how price interacts with it. Okay, so with Roblox, we've got the flow index. They've been pretty much net buying into this since about the 18th, right? Flow index is making a series of higher lows and higher highs, while price action is making a series of lower lows and lower highs. So where that divergence occurs, right, which is probably a little closer to this level here, right? So price is coming down, flow index is going up, higher lows and higher highs, and prices, it says prices coming down. In between these areas, there'll be little spots of micro divergences that play out. For example, looks like there's one here, right? So we had some divergence here that's played out. So at this level, let me just show you what I'm talking about here so that you can kind of start seeing what's going on. So smart money is buying into this position as price is coming down. Well, what happens is once price finds, a stable area, right, where buyers start to come in, right, what will happen is that price will come back up and then meet where that divergence occurred. So at this point in time here, we had just a second. At this point in time here, we had divergence occur at approximately the $43 level. Price continued to sell off down to about $39.22, right? Started to level off, and price action started coming back up to meet the flow index. So we've got smaller periods of internal divergence that's already been played out. On the grand scheme of things, we have a larger set of divergence that we're looking to play out as well. For example, this was a 51.63. Price should eventually return to that level as the flow index, as they finally stop buying into positions and start selling out. So let's just say, for example, they're buying, right? They've filled their order, right? And then they start selling these positions to you. So as price starts to come down a little bit, right? They're selling you the positions that retail's buying into, right? So they're buying up all these shares here, and then they start selling them back in, and then they get a nice cost average. So they're actually profitable, and they're selling you the shares, right? So hopefully that all makes a little bit of sense. Just wanted to go through that really quickly, so that the next couple stocks should go pretty quick, right? We have a white line level, which is a major inflection point. Roblox about 44.38, and support's coming in right around 39.24. If we were to pull up Roblox on our ATR chart, Roblox moves about $6.22 a day. We are currently trading at about -2 ATR, looking for slingshots. They're looking for the slingshot to start reversing, right? The histogram to start going light gray to white, and the radiant fire to start curling around. We'd like to see a move back up to the 21, which is that $50 level. Right, let's just call it 50. It's not quite the previous high of 52, but the 21 EMA, which is the mean, which price likes to interact with, we'll look for that reversion to the mean 50 to 52, okay? Currently trading about 39.24. We're at the bottom of a quant level. We're also at the bottom of the 4-hour, but we are below the daily Kellner channel. So we'd like to move from the 4-hour bottom to the 4-hour mid, and then from the 4-hour mid, right, to the 4-hour top at this 45 to 48 level, getting into this daily cloud. So a break above 40, move to about 42, 43, and finally move up to 45, 46, okay? Slingshot squeeze, kind of red. We might be a little bit early on it, so we may need a few more periods of consolidation. This is my 39-minute chart. It's my 15, right? See how price came down, and let's see if I can get this. Right, price went from the 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top, in through this daily cloud. So we're looking for support where we're at, move up into the cloud and up to 4-hour mid. So the first move would be from 39 to 41, right? out of the cloud, out of the daily cloud, so around 42. Use that as support for a move back up to previous highs for our top at 45. Now, above that, right, we have this weekly, right, we've got this weekly cloud here and this daily mid at 50. The larger move would be through the bottom of the daily cloud, back testing it, and then back up to the daily mid at around 50, okay? So, pretty easy to see move as long as we can maintain this current low. I would say no lower than around 38.50. Then if it goes below 38.50, we'd have to start looking at some downside moves on Roblox, which would put us like we're at a very key level of support here is what I'm trying to say. Is there's not a whole lot below us to provide support, okay? And then Roblox. All right, same kind of deal. We're kind of at the last line of defense for Roblox for our daily bottom, right? This is the weekly bottom. These are the Keltner channels. We'd like to be back towards the 50, towards the 200. Sorry, I gotta keep an eye on my dog here. He's doing weird things. So, Roblox. First move, right? A move to 42.50. Then that move to 45. Above 45, we try to get to about 50. Okay, so you can do the 45.50 vertical, right? Maybe, let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, let's look at that. Just going to make some notes here. Roblox 40 and 45. 50 at 42. 50. Rebel! Come here. Sorry, my dog is sniffing everything new. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Okay. All right, well, that was Roblox. Next up on our list is FUTU. All right, FUTU was one of our previous favorite stocks to trade forever because it has big, giant moves, right? It is a Chinese ADR, and the scan this week had a bunch of Chinese stocks come up on it. And what I'm trying to do is avoid getting all the stocks from one specific area, all right? We don't want all Chinese stocks. We don't want all stocks in tech. Trying to spread it out a little bit so that we have a greater opportunity of finding where some possible rotation could occur to and to what sector, some money is going to start flowing into. All right, so looking at FUTU, these dark blue or these blue lines are dark pool block trades, red lines are regular block trades. As you can see with FUTU, price and smart money has been kind of net selling up until the 9th, where smart money started buying into these positions. The divergence is really new, so it can take a little bit longer to trade out. But what I like is I like this move from this key levels of support. All right, looks like we're maintaining a little bit of a trend line here, right? A little bit of a trend line here off of a dark pull at 25.42. We've got some regular blocks, retail regular blocks at 25.75 and 26. So if we can use that for support, we can move up to the next dark pull at 28.50 on 28.49, and then up to the dark pull magnet at 31.57. Seems like a pretty structured move here. There's a nice little gap up here that will need to be filled at some point, right? There's a gap there. We probably got a wedge here, right? Something like this. Right, a little bit of a wedge, but I like that move. This could be a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, right? 3, 4, 5 move. If you like the Elliott waves, things like that. All right, FUTU. Oh, the FUTU. Gotta get this super zoomed in here on this. All right, most of the volume is occurring up here at this 40-42 level, which is also the 50-day and point of control. The 21 EMA, which would be that rally up to 39.40, which is what we're, $39.40, which is way up here. We're not even trying to get there. We're just trying to recover from -3 ATR and some bad earnings, right? Little rally to the 21 or previous highs, right? So 32, right? 32 puts us about -1 ATR. So we're trading at -3 ATRs, $4.50 average true range, right? That's about how much it moves in a day. So, sorry, I'm going to make some notes here, because if I don't make notes, I got to write this out later, and I get lost. So 38 is the 21, and 34 would fill gap. Okay, so that's the stuff to the upside. Right, just had some bad earnings, right? Good revenue, bad earnings per share. They kind of sold off of that. They're currently trading down at the monthly. Second here. And they're at the bottom of the monthly cloud, so that's pretty much the last line in the sand. So we'd look for a move from 25 up to the 4-hour cloud, 28 into that cloud up to the 4-hour mid at about 30, right? So we would move to 28, then 30, right? This difecta means that it's kind of on its last leg. If, for some reason, it breaks down below previous lows at 24.12, then it's got free-falling ability down to the, like, it could go to 0. Who knows? I like this kind of support little bounce play up to 30, right? Possibly, yeah, let's just call it 30. That would be a rally through the 4-hour bottom, using it as support for a rally up to the 4-hour mid, possibly touching the daily bottom. But I don't want to risk, like, I don't want to try to say, hey, it's going to hit 32. So it could be 28, 30, 32. Those could be the levels that you could look at. Right, let me just write this down here. 32. All right. That's if 24 has to hold, right? All right. What I was talking about when we're down at the bottom of the monthly cloud. So this monthly cloud is really big, right? That's because very rarely do stocks get into it. We are currently trading, holding the top of the monthly cloud, but we're inside of the weekly cloud bottom. And we're looking for that move from here up to 28, fight its way up to 30, right? So possible to get dead cat bounce back up to 30. Above 30, hit some overhead resistance at 32 and 34. That would be, I think that's asking a little bit too much for something that's, one, it's a Chinese ADR, two, right? Pretty rough couple weeks. If we break below 24, anywhere in this range right here, I don't know of anything that could stop us as it comes back down to about 650. Okay, so I'll just be careful, make sure that you've got that support level eyed, and we don't go long when we should be going short, right? Trying to slingshot squeeze around. A rally to the 21 EMA on the 4-hour puts us right at that 4-hour mid, that $30 level, right, which is right in the mid of the range that we were thinking that we could get to. I don't know if it's going to get much more than that. Okay. All right. That was FUTU. Next up on our list is MRTX. Right. MRTX is Murata Therapeutics. It's in the healthcare industry. I have not traded this before, and so we will be looking at the chart for the first time together. We like to do that. Let's see. What I liked about this one is that the Flow Index has been buying into this since back around February 14th. They've been making a series of, there's a high, there's a higher low, there's a high, there's a higher low, higher high, right? A little bit of a pullback. So we're looking to capture this shorter term divergence here. I don't know if, I would say some of this is already played out. I do like that there's a dark pool level at 84.65 that could act as a magnet, right? We could be using, right, a little double bottom possibly. Longer term, 1, 2, 3, Wu-Tang reversal, which would be a 1, 2, 3, long above the 2. Right? So obviously we got to keep this level in mind, that $88 level. As you can see, about this point here, the flow index started making higher lows and higher highs. At the same point, price action started selling off. So has it found the bottom, right? Are they going to start selling positions? Is it going to start retracing? So key levels for MRTX, I got to make sure I make notes of this. Looks like 80 is pretty significant support. A dark pool at 84.64, 84.65, and then a divergence target at roughly 88. Okay. Moving on to, one other thing that we could possibly do. This flow index tool is really nice. There's a bunch of different tools that I don't necessarily use all the time. There's some Fibonacci levels that we could put on there. Right? We could run a fib level to see where we're at. Right? So from this high to this low, you made a 50% retrace and sold off. Right? If you make a new low, we got to look to the downside. But we can also look that there's a big gap from 96 to 106. I don't know if they had earnings or something back then. But there's an opportunity here. If we went from previous high to current low, looking for areas of symmetry or congruency, I'd have to say, this 85, 50, 85, 85, 50, 86 level looks pretty good. And the 89, 50, 90 level looks pretty good. Okay, moving on. We're currently trading at about -1 ATR, just below point of control. A little bit more of it. Looks like they had those earnings, right? A little bit more of a histogram starting to curl back around, going from neutral to positive on the Squeeze Pro. Radiant Fire is trying to give us some buy signals. Looking at possible double bottom, rally to the 21. Right, that 21 days at 90, right? 21 EMA is at 90. Well below the 50, well below the 200. $6.65 ATR means this thing can move a little bit. Looks like we use the 4-hour bottom as support. We do have further 4-hour bottom cloud support at 79.42, and below that we have daily cloud support at 78.61, which would make a new low, right? So from this low, it went up, couldn't complete its daily upcycle, but it did move up through the 4-hour bottom to the 4-hour mid, rejected, and came back down. So we're kind of looking for that same kind of move. Quick pop up through the daily cloud at 81, right? Use that as support, the daily cloud bottom, 81, for a move to 84, which is a 4-hour mid, and potentially the 4-hour top at 88, right? So 84 to 88 on the upside, and then to the downside, we want to look at obviously 4-hour bottom, which would be 79.50, daily bottom, which would be a new low at 78.54. Why don't we just call it 78? So if it does have a downside move down to 78, it would be a new low, and I don't know how quickly it would flush off of that. Stochastic's starting to turn around. MACD's, or the histogram's starting to turn around. So, ping pong, right? 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top, 4-hour bottom failed, or 4-hour mid failed, 4-hour bottom, right? 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, failure, 4-hour mid, 4-hour bottom. So the next step would be 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top, kind of downtrending. Possible H-shaped or possible beginning of an inverse head and shoulders. There's lots of things happening here. I did give you the downside targets, so if for some reason it chooses that it wants to make a downside move, right? So through the 4-hour bottom, to the daily bottom, through the daily bottom, right down to that $77 or $78 level, could bounce off of that and make its move back up. Okay, might be front running it a little bit, trying to catch bottoms, but obviously I've given you two sides of the coin. So it's either going to fail like it did here and make another move, make a newer low, or it's going to find support here and make that move back up to start its up cycles again. Okay, so we're looking at I would say 84, 87, right? 84, 87 long, and then 80, 78 shorts. Okay. Same deal, right? Rally up to the 21 puts us at 84, right? Off of the 4-hour daily bottom. 21 4-hour mid puts us at 84. Above that, we retest the 4-hour top at 87, right? 87, 87.50. If we can get out of the 4-hour top, this would be a power move, like a real big power move, up to 95, 97. Is that the monthly? That'd be back up into the monthly bottom. That'd be quite a recovery for MRTX. Okay. All right. Next up on our list, last but not least, we have ASAN. All right. So ASAN is information technology. It is a CRM, and it's one that's very widely used. Right. It's an okay CRM, but it is a CRM. So a lot of tech industries use customer relations management tools, CRMs. I think there's a company called CRM, but it's a pretty decent tool. Okay, it's currently got about a $6.80 ATR, and let's just see, did I do that right? ASAN. All right. So the flow index may be making like if we went this way, if we went net buying since the 28th, it made a low, made a high, made a higher low, made a higher high, right? I'm not super thrilled about this gap down. I don't know if that was based off of an earnings beat, but up until that point, the flow index was kind of trading with price action. We do have a couple areas that we need to be aware of. It looks like there's a support level at 42 even, and we've got some overhead resistance here that run from that low, that high, something like that. Definitely got pretty significant overhead resistance, okay? Little micro divergence areas have traded out, right? So for example, right, flow index is coming up to here, right? Price action sells out, a little divergence is played out. Some of these little divergences might be played out. I'm going to keep an eye on the flow index here, and if it makes, this is a very interesting pattern for the flow index, right? Usually we see maybe a little consolidation pattern there, right? I think the greater divergence is at this dark pool level at about 48.81. We have another dark pool level at 44.50, and we've got a regular block at 37. So it's going to be 37 resistance, 44.50, and then 48.81. Let me just make some notes here real quick. And so we have gray rock at 37, dark pools at 40, and 48.81, right? Division or divergence target at, let's just say 50. Yeah, 48, right? Div target. All right, divergence target at 48. Okay, moving on. All right, we have point of concern. Looks like they had pretty decent earnings, but just sold off. They're currently trading at -2 ATR. All right. A rally to the 21 would be also a rally to the 50-day, so a move up to 55. All right, so 55 is the 21 EMA and 50 SMA. Moves about $8 a day, so could possibly do it, right? Definitely want to test previous highs and previous lows, but I think that's a pretty decent target. Point of control is way up here at 65, and the 200-day is way above it at 80. No, I don't think we're going to make this kind of a rally, but the last time we rode down -2 ATR, and we had a slingshot squeeze or a reversal, right? Ready and fired off. The histogram became neutral and decreasing. We got a nice move, right? Okay, currently trading pretty significant level of support. We are below the 4 hour, so we're trying to fight back to get back up into that 4 hour, looking for some slingshot squeezes and things to help dissect mode. So if we do break down below this 34.21, we do have to look at possible like large move to, zero, like seriously. However, if we can get back up above 36, right, a rally from 34 to 36, right, that would be the 4 hour cloud move from 36 to 40, 36, then 40, right, puts us 4 hour bottom to 4 hour mid, which is getting back into the daily cloud, right at that $40 level. Above that, I think that's kind of a reach to get from 40 up to weekly cloud, 4 hour top, 46, right? 40 is probably going to be the closest. 44 and then 46. Extreme move, right? Thought it was right over here. 44. A move from 44 to 46 would represent a pretty extreme move, to be honest with you. Right? $7 a day. First move up to that's interesting. I think that ATR is wrong. Yeah. 688. The ATR is right. All right, so big rally, right? Had earnings, decent earnings, right? But something happened that investors didn't like. So maybe a bunch of profit taking from 50 all the way down to 35. That's a big move. So there is the very real possibility of another move to the downside. We just have to keep that in mind. And I would go from this low to see if there's like a trend line that it might be following, right? Looks like there is. I'm not seeing any Celts down here, which is concerning because I guess the monthlies. Trying to find those monthly Celts, but we could melt down, just slow fade down, 34 down to 33. But I'd like a pop up through to the 4 hour, up through the 4 hour cloud, right? Break out of it a little bit, use it, come in back and testing it for support for that move towards this weekly cloud, daily cloud, 4 hour mid magnet, right? That $40 level, pretty significant. There is a regular block at 37, right? This $37 level. We have a dark pool at 44, way up here. And, sorry, my notes are a little, here we go. Dark pool at 44, right? Daily top. And then again at 48, 4 hour top. So, this, let me just illustrate this so that people can see what I'm talking about here. Back up, up. maybe from an Elliott wave perspective, something along those lines. All right, and then finally, again, my magic tells through the 4-hour bottom, there's an opportunity for it to fall even lower. I have to go all the way back to April of 2021. We're hitting the top of a supply zone, previous demand zone, right? Pretty significant resistance in this area. Whereas we break below it, then we down cycled about 25. So either big long move to the downside, or we get a little bit of a dead cat bounce. Seeing this type of a move, I may look at some 31 puts too. So 30 to 35 puts. Okay. All right, that's it. I got to run. Thanks for joining me on Untitled Algo. I am here every morning, Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go through the news, events, earnings results. We also look at the overall market, look at seeing what the NS, NQ, our futures are doing. And then we go through a question and answer format where we look at whatever tickers you'd like to using the Flow Index. So join me, and thanks for spending some time with me this afternoon. On your way out the door, make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications so you get notified anytime we put out a new video. Thanks. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay green, and we'll see you tomorrow.